Right on cue.
Yeah,
In or on?
yeah.
You're all set?
That's it. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 7:00 PM. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First item, approval of agenda. Do you have any add-ons? Anything to take off? Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second. Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Public forums is where the public is invited to make comments on any non-agenda items. Any comments from the public?
Just informing the board about the silent auction this upcoming Saturday for the Historical Society from 6 to 9 at the golf course. Bring your friends. There's some good items on the list.
Bring your pocketbook and
Bring your
wallets.
pocketbook.
We take credit cards. We have a way to take credit cards. We have had an African safari donated.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
And if anybody likes wine, we've got some super selection of wines. We have one bottle of wine that's a one of a kind that's valued at about $175. Autographed bottle of wine, it's about this big.
Take that wine on the African safari.
There you go.
Okay.
I think you've got it figured out, right?
Yeah, well, just be there Saturday night.
Yep. Before I move on, we're open for public a comment.
Just in time to say nothing.
Very good, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Approval of the minutes of the March 9th, 2015.
Yeah, ready for draft.
The only thing I saw was on paragraph 6E, second page. Board agreed that meeting with Dr. Crowley would be something, I guess, but I'm not sure what.
Oh. Okay, I know if that last sentence probably needs to just come off, I'm not sure. Probably would be available, I think that's all I was gonna add there. I must have gotten it to the counter.
Oh, I need to submit to you the minutes for the executive session that we had. We just went into executive session, so.
So we're just gonna cross off that sentence, the board.
Or just I'll add available.
Oh.
Would be available to me.
Okay. I hear a motion to approve as amended.
Yeah, so move.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Okay, committee and board reports, the planning board meeting this Thursday at the Notre Dame, no, it's not gonna be in the library, it's gonna be at the fire station, right? Because we're having,
That's right.
we're having meetings here, so this will be at the fire station. So the planning board will meet at the fire station on Thursday, 7 PM. Comprehensive Plan Committee meeting on Tuesday the 31st, here at the Notre Dame School Library at 7 PM. And then on Thursday, April 2nd, at 6 PM in the gym, there will be an MDOT public meeting on the Route 111 New Road and Old Alfred Road intersection. Anybody got anything else for committee and board reports? All right, now we're moving on to our favorite section, manager's report.
Okay, I have a few things, and a few things that have, a couple of things have come up quickly at the end, so I'll add them, but one of the first and foremost is see if we can get our calendars out and get a budget meeting. with the budget committee. As you know, the fire chief is down and out, and his wife also has just had a very serious operation, so we're in a tough schedule with him, but if that doesn't work out, you set the date, and I can bring other material to the group. If we have to wait another week for the fire station, we will, but I'm not gonna rely on it this time around like I did last time. I think the goal here is to find a date. And looking at the selectmen's schedule, that's not gonna be easy.
You guys normally meet on Wednesdays?
Correct, and I was kind of looking at, of course, it's too late to do it this week, but next Wednesday, the
April
1st of
1st.
April.
Those are not good for Jack, because he
No,
has to go to Andover.
I'm tough on Wednesdays now. Unfortunately, I don't have another one open until the 15th.
How about, I just like to try and get things going as soon as possible. How about Thursday the 2nd?
We have tentatively scheduled town managers interviews.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's your
I
public
tried that
hearing
one.
with the DOT.
Yeah, the DOT public hearing starts here at 7, but we have,
Six to eight.
yeah,
Next Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
The 30th?
yeah, I'm open the 30th.
Yeah.
That wasn't that hard.
So, can we see if we can get to school for the 30th?
Yeah. We'll find someplace,
Yeah.
because we don't wanna let space stop us, because the date's hard to find, so we'll find someplace for sure.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we've got-
And if we don't have, I did not see the chief today, he's still not in, so if for some reason it doesn't happen, I've got some other issues regarding budget that I can present to you. And we could at least use that time, okay?
So we'll go
7 PM?
7 PM, yeah.
Okay, Sean?
Yep, works for me.
Good. That was easy, thanks.
You'll let us know location, Jack?
Yeah, I will.
It should be open, but
We'll try to get here, obviously, you know, and if we can't, then we'll rent a trailer or something,
All right, and I will go ahead and let all the budget board members know.
You think that's gonna be an issue at all on a Monday night, or?
I don't think so. I'll just throw it out, let everybody know. Everyone knows that we're getting kind of crunch time here, working on the budget. We'll work from there.
7 PM. Very good.
Next item?
Next item.
Okay, I've been working with Pine Tree Waste since we talked last. I'm about a meeting away from having a draft contract to look at for an extension.
Okay.
Actually, I think I've met with them twice since we talked. We're addressing, what I think is a reasonable way of addressing the recycling and what I'm looking for you to look at, and that, it's not earth-shattering, so don't stay awake at night. We put input together yet, and we're looking at a consumer index increase in one-year extension contract, which is somewhere around $90 a month. So it's all within a comfortable range right now, and I'm hoping to, have that going. I know I'll have it ready for you to look at soon. I gave you a couple of handouts. One of them is a sort of a snapshot financial report of January and February. What I like about this particular document, it's not a data list, that's for sure, but it gives you an idea what, you know, where you are with your accounts and your total cash flow. The other thing I like about it is that it shows you your reserves and all, you know, all your reserve accounts and what you have in it, and that's kind of hoping you'll hang on to that when we do budget, you know, I mean, you'll have that as a snapshot document. The reason I gave you 2 months is I had one that I was gonna show you, and then we were able to get another one done, so, you can see the drawdown from 1 month to the other, on the general account, et cetera, so, we're moving in a very positive direction in that department too, so, I'll try to start giving you, you know, more updated information, but, that's a good one for me, a quick snapshot, you know, to look at, and I thought it might be one for you as well. Something that's brewing, unresolved, probably will get resolved. I'm not terribly worried about it as I was originally. We got a shame on you letter from DEP regarding characteristics regarding the old transfer station, landfill. And it looked worse than it actually is. I've been working with and in contact with MAI, right? MAI, who does all the monitoring and the engineering, who engineered that project. And have done the monitoring. They were pretty upset with it because the information that DEP sent was inaccurate, and very inaccurate. And MAI said, you know, it's all correctable with documents that they just didn't take the time to look for. So it's nothing to be alarmed about. Since MAI said we're in great shape, you know, we can monitoring of the wells, you know, kind of a little laundry list of things that they were concerned about, but we have all that data. And without getting too personal, what happens is a change of personnel will come in on a project and not realize that all that data had been, you know, presented, collected, and submitted, and, you know, just stop firing off letters that say you need this, you need this, and not really going back and digging and finding information. So MAI has found it all and sent it, and I'm just waiting for some kind of a, you know, correction.
So the issue is just documentation, not?
It's documentation, and missing paperwork that MAI has already presented and sent. I mean, we pay them good money, they're very good people at you know, at staying on top of this. This is what they do. And actually, I got a call from MAI before I got the letter from DEP, because MAI was just a little bit upset, and I couldn't, they said, you know, don't worry about that letter. What letter? I haven't got it yet. The next day I got the letter, so they got it before I did. Anyway, if anything develops with it of any magnitude, we'll, you know, I'll get into it in detail. Right now, there's no sense to it if it's all gonna get resolved. I gave you also a school budget construction data sheet that I got from Velma that attended the meeting. She went over it with me. I thought it was interesting, so I just shared it with you as well. On a positive note, it looks like we are going to collect about $20,000 worth of FEMA money as regard to the disasters being declared for the storms.
Yep.
And that's not in stone, but, you know, roughly around that number. And Simone and I did some homework on that a little bit, because I thought it would be good to put it in a sort of a party account, you know, something we could, you know, enjoy and have fun with. And Simone said, no, we couldn't do that. And we said, well, where are we gonna put it? But you have a natural disaster reserve account. And that money more than likely should go right back into that account. Now, you can, I won't do it, I mean, we'll do it at the end of the year. You know, rides are stretched right now, but that's unappropriated, or money, I call it unappropriated. I don't know what they call it in the municipal business, but the school business, it hasn't been approved at town meeting for expenditure, so, you know. But keep that in mind, that you've got that. So if we run into some real problems, if you ever had to ask for some more money, you know, in public works because of the winter, you could ask for it to be spent potentially out of that income. You know, if not, if he gets by, and it's been going well the last couple of 3 weeks since we talked to Roger, then probably appropriate spot to put that is that disaster release account. And that would, you know, continue to allow that account to bill for something like the Downing Road, you know, when that happened, or, you know, something like that. There'll be some paperwork, and I can share that with you, but this was an early discussion, and because everybody jumped on that bandwagon when that disaster was declared, and so we did the same, we jumped all over it too as well.
Hey, go back to the sheet for the school budget. Have you had a chance to look at that as far as our budget?
I have not plugged that in, no,
Okay.
no.
Can I make a comment on that?
Absolutely.
If you look down and see that Arundel's percentage is up, Kennebunk's is only up a little bit, Kennebunkport's has actually gone down. Down in the explanation, it tells you that back when they were just SAD 71, they had overpaid an account with the state. And the state said this year, okay, we're just gonna send you back a check. And that check is gonna get credited to Kennebunk and Kennebunkport. So this year, they're going to get a credit. It'll catch up with them next year.
I forgot that about, thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people know it, but it was a good reminder, yeah. I've also given you a packet of information that, for your interest only, there's no action to be taken. I do want to report, I know you reported that there's a planning board meeting on the 26th. There's also a planning board meeting now planned for June 2nd, of which, if you're available, and I don't think you are, but if you are, you're welcome to attend. I do believe that will be an executive session for that planning board.
April 2nd.
April, I said June.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what I had for something, that was only 20 minutes ago, right?
You're wishing someone to get here pretty quick, aren't you?
Right. So I just keep that in mind. I think everybody's plugged into that a lot as we've gone along. Let's see if I get everything. I do.
Have you,
I do.
I know there's some emails that have gone back and forth, but have you been in touch with Leah?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, we've had a lot of conversation today. We've got a planning meeting set up in between now and this meeting, and we're all on pretty much on the same page.
So would it be best for us to have an executive session at our next, after this?
We should have one after theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to go over
yeah,
and-
absolutely.
Hate to spend Leah's
Yeah.
money, but, you know.
Yeah, and
Our money.
Because they,
Yeah, our money, not
Right.
not Leah. our
but,
money.
yes, and we've actually discussed that. Yeah. What would be good about having it after is you might be able to react to some, you know, some potential direction the planning board may need to take. So, be good. It's not the best scenario, as you saw, you know, but it needs to probably work this way right now, because the challenges are too great, and we can, you know, hopefully I can be a good connector and make the best of what isn't exactly the way we would like to have it, but letting things go on and on is not gonna be in the best interest of anybody, so. We'll let the planning board do the thing, and we'll move forward.
if we can adjust that April 2nd date, we can attend.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we see Dawn this week.
Right.
So that April 2nd date is kind of a tentative date.
Right.
if you can adjust it, you're fine,
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
I mean, I know you have a problem, right, because you're going away, right?
No, I'll be here for the second.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
So,
Is there one before that, he said?
yeah.
There's one on the 26th.
26th?
Planning board?
Yeah.
Yeah, 26th.
Okay.
yeah,
Planning
planning
board
board's got a
meeting.
meeting this week.
Yeah.
They have a planning board meeting this week, and then they'll have a meeting the following week with
Right.
executive session.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Dawn,
Right.
this week when we have those 2 interviews, and we'll.
If
go
you
from
can,
there.
then we're back to, A plan, right,
Yeah.
If not, we'll make the best of it and, I'll do everything I can to keep the dots connected.
The other thing is, the MDOT has got that public meeting
The second.
on that, so it'd be nice to have, somebody from the selectmen be there also, but,
Roger is going to that, for sure.
you know,
And I probably will go to the planning board meeting. Not probably, I plan to, so that
I think you should.
I can have firsthand
Yeah,
information.
Yeah, you should have that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the front lines, unfortunately. probably.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
All right.
meeting is in the gym. Is that the meeting they're having in the
The
gym?
MDOT meetings in the gym.
Yeah, that's in the gym.
Planning
Okay,
board meeting.
thank you.
It's here. Yeah.
Sorry I took so long.
Okay.
okay. New business, code enforcement memorandum of understanding.
Yeah, that's me again.
That's you, what do we got, Jack?
Well, this is interesting, and I'm actually gonna show a little bit of prejudice here and say to you that, I enjoy cooperative arrangements with communities, if at all possible, and it's a win-win for everybody. But as you know, what happens is that, code enforcement is a job that is difficult to say, well, he's on vacation this week. You got, two contractors, an engineer, and a partridge in a pear tree, waiting for something, and you say, I'm sorry, he can't come out and do that because he's gone, or, his dad, is very sick and he's not here, or whatever. So, this was in the works a little bit before I got here. It's sort of, kind of a mini partnership, and it's really not a big deal, because I asked for it to be written up, and then we tweaked it a little bit, because I wanted some safeguards, put in. But basically what it is if we're in a pickle and our code enforcement officer's not present, instead of holding up a contractor or holding up somebody, we can borrow a few hours from the Lyman, code, and vice versa. And they can cover for each other when someone's on vacation. It won't be often, it won't be, I did talk about this is not to be for extended leaves. If Jim was out, God forbid, for, recuperating from an injury or a long-term illness, or if he was, we're not expecting someone to come in and take that place. This is for those quick booster shot activities where somebody is not available and you don't want to hold up a project or hold up people. So we put this little document together. I know Lyman has agreed to it, and honestly, from my perspective, we ought to be doing this with a lot of activity if we can, because it's one town helping out another. That's how I feel about it, I asked Jim if he had any concerns about this, if that was a problem for him, and he's being very pragmatic about it, as I am. No, it just, makes sense to help somebody out, because there are times when you go on vacation and you can hold somebody up. Yeah. So this is what we put together. I told Jim he didn't have to come tonight, but if you have a lot of deep questions about it, let's just table it, and Jim will come and speak on it if you wanted to.
Haven't we been doing this anyway?
Well, the Lyman code enforcement
Yeah.
officer, when Jim was out for a few weeks for surgery, did do that for us, and she was very good. She came over, she would come like maybe a day or two, and take care of any permits and basically she didn't issue new permits, she just did inspections for people that had ongoing permits. And then we had, Jim Comondon took over the electrical inspections, you know, for regular household.
It's never been blessed, Velma.
Oh,
And I think before, and I'm a little bit nervous about things that aren't blessed, because first thing you do is you'll get a call from somebody saying, hey, your code enforcement officer's over in my town doing work, and, you know, what's the story with that? And that's not a surprise you want to hear about. I think you should be aware that that arrangement, you know, has been endorsed and blessed before that happens. And yes, there have been a little, you help me, I'll help you, but
in writing.
nothing blessed.
What's the parameters of the authority of the joining towns code enforcement officer? Simone said they don't issue permits, or they
I
can
don't-
issue permits, COs, or are they just doing,
She did do
Interim
some
inspections.
COs, I think, when she did final inspections, she did a couple of COs.
what I'm saying, do we have to give her authority to do that?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had appointed her as an interim.
Yeah, I remember we appointed her, so she would be,
For when
but
he
this,
was out.
within this memorandum of understanding, we're not making any appointment to
Right.
give her
We're not
authority.
using names, yeah,
Right.
right.
Right. I mean, I think it's a great idea too, but I think we ought to have the authority, or he or she, whoever it is,
Deputies.
to issue the requisite permits. I'm not sure that's saying that right now.
So what,
It is.
if we, I just wanna make sure that we don't set something up for, you know, to put Jim on have to defend something, you know, if, or vice versa, you know, if something doesn't go right and he approves of, you know, something and they find out later on that it, you know, it was wrong, what's the liability here? I just wanna make sure that, you know, we're not.
I did ask that question about, you know, about that, and it would be, if this becomes not a private helping hand, then the town's liability would, this is an official arrangement, the town's liability would cover him, you know, if he made a mistake or something went wrong over there. The way it is now, you know, they could say, well, gee, you know, there was nothing, you know, in support of that. But I think Tom's question is worth looking into personally about the authority piece, and I suggest you table this and let us do some more homework on it.
Yeah, I think.
Because this isn't like gonna happen tomorrow,
Right.
you know.
I just think if we're gonna do this, we gotta make sure that that person has
Yeah.
the requisite authority to do what's necessary to not hold somebody up for.
Listen, there was nothing in writing, at least
Right.
we've taken the,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I'm not defending myself, I'm just saying,
You're good.
we're moving forward to getting something that isn't terribly sophisticated, but at the same time, you know, a nice comfortable arrangement if we can do it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we ought to make sure that we cover each other, in case.
Yeah.
My guess the insurance policy would pick up, you know, errors and omissions, if there was something like that, would pick up either side, because essentially that, this officer now becomes our agent,
Yeah.
That's right.
and Jim would then become town lineman's agent, so, I don't, I mean, you could ask the insurance carrier, but I don't think that would be an issue for anybody.
Because a mistake could be something very costly.
Well, mistake is one thing, the other thing is, what if one or other of them says no?
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't issue the permit, that could get a little dicey.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think that they, I know last time, I don't believe she issued any permits. I think she just did inspections until he was back.
Yeah,
And I think that's what they're probably, because usually especially if it's a week of vacation, it's not usually an issue for somebody to wait the week, because they don't usually get, you know.
well, if that's so, then we ought to say this is, you know, you don't
Yeah,
have
you
the
ought to
authority.
define those
Yeah.
roles and exactly what each one of them is gonna do, so that,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think the idea was a service to the community, and particularly the contractors who need to have something checked. I mean, I'm just gonna be silly for a minute, but you've got the foundation and the walls up, and you need to have somebody, okay, the walls before you put the roof up. I know that's not the way it works, but just to say that, and say, oh, gee, you just missed him, he's gone for a week. You know what I mean? So I think that's where this service would be a big help.
Yeah, and, you know, the seasonal cottages is a good example though. They're gonna be doing so much construction there, and they may be waiting for something like that, and Jim could be out, and, you know, we certainly don't wanna hold anybody up like that, so.
I'll do a little bit more homework,
Okay.
I'll bring it back,
Beautiful.
but I can at least say we're moving forward anyway. Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
Okay, next item is tax acquired property.
Actually, we had Jack go right over and, go right knock on the door and ask about it, but, so he came over and paid back all of the, amounts. So they paid the 2013 lien, 14 lien, and 15 taxes to date. So, this is, actually a business on Route 1, which,
We put together a little field trip.
Yeah.
With the help of the SO.
So everything is paid in full.
it is paid in full.
Within an hour.
So you need anything from us? You need any motion or
You
anything
need
from us?
to execute
Yeah.
and sign,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Execute and sign a quick claim deed for Stumptown LLC, Brian Raymond, map 1, lot 1D. Have a motion and a second.
Jason.
And any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Review and sign accounts payable warrant.
It should be kicking around somewhere.
Yep.
And
You got the right form?
Stumptown.
in case you missed it, my background check is in there for $6, so, you know.
Only $6.
Huh?
Only $6.
Right.
Do I have a motion for the accounts payable and second and warrant? All those in favor? Anybody got any old business they want to bring up?
I know you're busy, but you get it.
May I say something?
All right.
Don DeWitt, you talk about enforcement. I had a standby generator put in. It took me all of 3 months to have it done, finally get done and everything. No inspection has ever been done on it. Now, the master electrician come over. He's been at my house a number of times. The deal was, I had to pay him 50% of the deal to put the generator in. When the generator was hooked up, the inspector was gonna come over, fire it up, and approve it. I was to pay him the other 50%. Your inspector has never showed up. I've called him 2 or 3 times, I've even been to the town hall, right? And nobody has inspected that. So the generator is running, the gas lines are in, nobody's inspected it.
So
I'll check into it.
what's the breakdown on that? You didn't have to get a permit for that, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yes. And the other thing is, you were saying that you have an outside contract, like from Lyman, to come into Arundel. And could they have approved that generator? Do they have the authority to do that? What I mean, because some towns like Lyman, I'm under the impression that you don't even have to have a permit to put in a standby generator. So can they come in here and say it's okay?
That wouldn't be electrical, that would be Jim Plamondon that would cover for
Right.
electrical.
Different, no.
Okay.
It would not be, it would not fall under what we just discussed about code, health and code. No, that would be an electrical.
Well, what I mean, if she doesn't have the authority, she may have the authority to do something in that town, but it's not covered in this town. How can she come in and do it?
She would have to follow our ordinance.
When she
Our
came in,
ordinance and-
it would be, she'd have to deal with, go ahead,
Yeah, I mean, it would be whatever our, our ordinance and our,
requirements.
requirements are.
Okay, and this is the same thing with the gas line too. I mean, the gas line, everything is running and everything is good. Everybody's been there and checked this, checked that, but it's never been signed off. So if something happens to my house, it blows up or something, who's responsible? Me,
So,
You install
Right.
Yeah.
well, you say that when, I mean, he's done his work, and your inspector was supposed to come over there and do it. And your guy has never done it.
Still could have blown up.
Yeah, that's true, but then it would have been approved, and I don't know how that
I
goes.
know.
I'm just saying, he has had plenty of time to come over there and inspect that, and nobody's ever
I get a
shown up.
bunch of lawyers hiring experts all over the place to figure that out. No.
I'll check it.
yeah, would Jim be the guy that could
To
go
start
over
with,
the
then we'll go
gas?
to electrical, yeah.
No, Jim Nagle, wouldn't he be the one that inspect the gas line? Because it can't be laundered.
That would be, if it was an Amy like inside.
No.
Gas line that goes from the tank to the generator.
Right.
I don't believe the inspector does that. I think that's whoever installs your gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, your gas company does that. I don't think they get permits to do that.
I'll have Jim
Yeah.
check through and get back, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Electrical would be hooking your generator to putting in your electrical panel for your generator. And however it bypasses your own electrical panel. Right.
You got a gen train, right?
Yeah. I know mine makes a big
It's-
click when it clicks
But
on.
he was saying you do have to have the gas line inspection, because there's certain types of lines there, certain types of pressure. But I mean, I also have a gas fireplace too, so they had to do something there. So they have to maintain
Yeah.
that pressure to that generator, otherwise things go to hell in a handbasket. So, and the electrical guy, he's been to the house three times, he's a hell of a nice guy, but he keeps saying, you know, he wanted his money, you can't blame him. And nobody showed up, he said to hell with you. So, everything is running, and, so what's the deal?
That follow up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure will.
Thank you, Don. Anybody got anything else?
I know you've been busy, Jack, but did you get a chance to talk to the auditors about the issue of our authority to spend money from reserves set up for specific items? I mean, you said at the school level, you could not do that, but we've taken the position that money was set aside, capital equipment for fire, that we would be able to go out and spend the money for an ambulance or something like that, but you have a distant view about that, yeah.
I forgot.
But that's all right, but I mean, I don't want to.
I had plenty of time, I just forgot.
Yeah, because I want to get that issue straightened around, because if we don't have that authority, it seems to me we better get
Get it on
a
the
warrant article that gives us that authority.
We were gonna check to see if you could spend money out of reserve, right?
Yeah, if you have a designated
Right,
reserve.
right,
We have
Like the ambulance.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I did not
Examine for
know.
the public works truck or anything like that.
I talked to them, but no, I did not do that, Tom. I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they say no, then it's gotta be on.
Yeah, we gotta-
Right,
We
exactly.
can't be going back to town meeting all the
Yeah.
time.
So basically, it's authorization to spend money out of reserves. That's the question. Yeah.
Yeah, specific reserve set up for,
When it's set out specifically for something.
Right.
Right. I have another suggestion when we get to a budget meeting for a purchase that we may want to look at that way, so we can, might as well need, I simply forgot.
That's okay.
Okay, hearing no other business, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. So, moved.
Second.
Motion by Phil, second by Tom, all those in favor? Carried.